It's your favorite mission girl, wannabe Jedi, and resident Disney freak, Caitlin. Happy Sunday. It's a gorgeous day outside, and it's the last day of Star Wars Celebration. So while that's all wrapping up, I thought I would talk to you guys about what took place yesterday. And what was the biggest event yesterday? It certainly wasn't Anthony Daniels, the protocol event, whatever it was. The big event of the day, the big thing that everyone was waiting for, was the Star Wars Rebels Season 3 panel. Oh my gosh, it went nuts. They had Tia, the voice of Sabine. I think that's her name. I don't know her last name, but they had the girl play Sabine, and Sam Witwer, who played Emperor. I think he played Emperor Palpatine in the Clone Wars. He also played Darth Maul in the Clone Wars, and he's playing Darth Maul in Star Wars Rebels. So yay! Dave Filoni was there, and also it was moderated by Warwick Davis, who plays everyone's favorite little Ewok, Wicket, in Return of the Jedi. He's been in a lot of movies since, so it was he's actually pretty funny. I love Warwick Davis. He is hysterical. So Saturday was pretty much all about the Rebels, and we were so excited. But before that, one thing that they didn't, I don't think they live streamed it, happened actually the first day of celebration. There was a little kind of sit down. It was it wasn't like a full-on panel. It was like a little smaller event with Dave Filoni, the Lucasfilm Story Group's Pablo Hidalgo, and everyone's favorite Padawan, Ashley Eckstein, the voice of Ahsoka Tano. It was called Ahsoka Tano's Untold Tales. And with that new book coming out in October, and everybody freaking out about the Season 2 finale of Rebels, what happened to Ahsoka? Is she dead? Is she alive? Are we going to see her again? The big cry, and as Dave said at one point, this was a character that nobody really liked in the beginning, and now they had that epic season finale, and all of a sudden we're all like, what did you do to her? Why did you take her away from us again? So he just can't believe the outpouring of show and support for this character that at one point when Ashley Eckstein came on, he actually told her, you're going to get a lot of hate for playing this character, and now it's like, hugely popular. Anyway, the Untold Tales was actually all this stuff that Dave had written for Ahsoka, all these sketches and stuff he had done for stories about Ahsoka. There was actually one that was a story about how Plo Koon found Ahsoka on her home planet, and how he had to beat this bounty hunter that realized that was after Force-sensitive children and learned about Ahsoka, and this bounty hunter wanted her. And so Plo Koon basically had to get to Ahsoka before this evil bounty hunter did, and that's how she came to the Jedi Temple. And then he talked about the stories that would have happened had Clone Wars continued on after the Lost Missions, and would have been Ahsoka-centric after she left the temple, and it would have been about her trying to find her own way and struggling because she had been raised in the temple. And as great as the Jedi are, for a kid who's been raised in the temple, and I'm talking from experience because I've led kind of a sheltered life, the temple is probably a pretty sheltered life. So you get out in the real world and you're totally on your own. All of a sudden you're like, okay, what do I do? So it would have been about her struggling with the real world, and actually would have told the story of and actually would have included the story of how Ahsoka and Maul know each other. And I'm so happy I was right. Ahsoka, I believed with all my heart that Ahsoka never turned to the dark side, and I was right. She never did. Except when the sun bit her on Mortis, but that doesn't count because she didn't actually turn. She was forced to turn. And when she came back to life, she was totally normal and okay, so I don't count that. That was a forced conversion. Anyway, and so I'm so happy that she didn't actually make the decision herself to change, to turn. Actually, what it is at one point, Ahsoka met back up with the Jedi, including Obi-Wan, Plo Koon, and Anakin. And, they would have all gone to Mandalore, and this would have been the Mandalore episodes, the Siege of Mandalore, which would have explained how Mandalore became so entrenched in the Empire when Palpa Creep took over. And she goes there to help him, and because Bo-Katan sends out a message for help saying, hey, we're still under the thumb of Darth Maul, we could really use some help. And so the Jedi go to go help Mandalore, and that's how Obi-Wan and Anakin and Plo Koon meet back up with her. I think it would have been just Obi-Wan and Anakin. Anyway, they meet back up with her, and it would have been this really great, they meet Darth, would have been a really great, like, Anakin Ahsoka moment, and it would explain why in the season 2 finale, Darth Maul, No, and Ahsoka recognize each other because they would have met a Mandalore and fought each other. And it would also explain in Shrouded Darkness why Ahsoka told Ezra the last time she saw Anakin was when he was rushing off to save Emperor Palpatine. Because, as the story goes, this would have been the last time Anakin and Ahsoka were together, and Anakin and Obi-Wan get the call from Yoda, you know, the Palpatine got himself kidnapped, go rescue him. Like, just leave him be. He didn't need to be rescued. Anyway, and so Anakin tells Ahsoka they have to go, but he's not leaving her alone this time. They go out to the field, and it's members of the 501st, only now they're the 223rd, and Rex is there. Rex is there! Yay, Rex would have been there, and their armor would have been painted orange and white to match Ahsoka's coloring with her markings, and it would have been, and Anakin would have promoted her to general, and she would have been part of the army, and it would have been like this really last touching moment. Anakin would have said he was proud of her, and I wanted to cry because just hearing that, I wanted to burst into tears because that is just something I really wish. I mean, in at the end of the the end of the arc where Ahsoka gets kidnapped by the Transdoshans and she meets Chewbacca and she's almost hunted. And good for you. Sorry, my window's open and I live on a busy street. Ahsoka and Anakin share that moment when they come back because Anakin's been going nuts that Ahsoka got kidnapped and he's responsible for her. So he's been going absolutely crazy because his little sister's out there who knows where, and she's his Padawan, she's his little sister, and it's like, oh my gosh, he's lost her. Okay, he didn't lose her. I mean, she's like 16, she can take care of herself, but still, he's kind of sort of responsible for her. So he was going crazy, and then she comes back, and he's like saying he's so sorry because he never should have let her out of his sight, and he should have protected her better. And she's like, no. It's my fault. I should have been more careful, and honestly, the things you've taught me helped me to survive, helped me lead others to survival, find a way off that planet, and get me back to you. And they just bow to each other, which is really cool because as they point out in the story behind the scenes documentary about those episodes, is that Anakin and Ahsoka are kind of the same vein in that they're not really the most formal, so you never really have seen them up to that point like acknowledge each other they know each other, they respect each other, but have never done anything like the bowing and actually calling each other Master and Padawan. Like Anakin's always calling her Ahsoka or Snips, and sometimes she calls him Master, but usually it's Sky Guy. So it was really nice. So I started tearing up because I wanted that, and to think that we didn't get to see an episode like that, we didn't get to see the ending of that, it just made me cry. I wanted to cry. I was so devastated, and I'm watching the screen, and Ashley Eckstein, the voice of Ahsoka, is literally almost bawling because, and Pablo's like, you made Ashley cry because it would have been a wonderful story, a wonderful way to end the relationship, to know that there was just this one last I'm starting to feel sad that it would have been this wonderful way to end this relationship with this one last moment, this one last time where Ahsoka and Anakin were together as like Master and Padawan and big brother and little sister, and they had this moment where they were together, and Anakin's like so proud. He has this moment where Qui-Gon had his moment with Obi-Wan, and Obi-Wan with Anakin, and I'm sure this would have been. It would have been nice to have that moment where Anakin looks at Ahsoka and goes, I'm so proud of you. I'm so proud of what you've done, of what you achieved. And just like with Luke and Leia never really getting to know their dad, just as Anakin only ever really having that, with Leia only having the memory of the guy who tortured her, held her captive, and then destroyed her home, and then of Luke, except for that brief moment at the end where he breaks through to the goodness in Anakin, and Anakin destroys Emperor Palpatine but sacrifices his life in the process. It just makes me feel so gypped because, like I said, these are great characters. I want them to have happy endings. I want them to live these long lives surrounded by family and friends, and just knowing that this was a thing that Dave had come up with, this story where Ahsoka and Anakin were going to have that great moment. This great moment of bonding where all their years together, the years he spent training her and helping her and just being there, and I understand why Ashley cried, because would have been great. I mean, this is Ashley played Ahsoka. She's practically lived Ahsoka. She is Ahsoka, and to know that could have happened, and then oh my gosh, it's just, I really wish Disney had decided to continue through with Clone Wars, because something like that would have been amazing. And now, unless they include it in the book, which I don't think they will, we don't get to see that, except in that panel. They did this beautiful sketch Dave did of that moment with Ahsoka and Anakin coming out onto that platform and seeing all those clone troopers who had served with her, including Rex, in their new armor to pay tribute to their new general. And I don't know, I just really wish that had continued. And so, and it also, and another thing they talked about was Order 66, how she survived. And Dave, who loves wolves, said that Ahsoka would have used the Force like Ezra does to connect with a bunch of gigantic wolves. And when the clones came after her, she sent the wolves after the clones, so that's how she survived Order 66. But I don't know. I really wish, I would love to see that moment with Ahsoka and Anakin, I know. Because they're two of my favorite characters, and it would just mean a lot to me if that is in the book, because that would be perfect. I mean, it's supposed to cover her time after leaving the Order and joining the rebellion, so who knows? Maybe we are going to see that. Maybe we'll get a hint. Because it would just be nice. I mean, I don't know. At least I didn't cry. I got down, but I didn't cry. Also, Dave did talk about, he officially has said, he said this in an interview, it makes me happy. We might, it's a very strong might though, Ahsoka might be coming back! He says there is a chance we haven't seen the last of Ahsoka. She might be coming back in some way, shape, or form. He hasn't told us how yet, but that's enough to get all our hopes sky high that someday Ahsoka will be back. I'm betting on that Ahsoka's alive, and her descent into the Sith Temple is just a test to make her into a better Jedi, and maybe even a knight like Kanan. Okay, I understand she left the Order, but technically Kanan wasn't part of the Order too, and Yoda still knighted him, so maybe this is just her test, like her trial to become a knight, and maybe when she comes back, it will just be so awesome and wonderful. So Dave Filoni says that Ahsoka might be coming back, and I really, really, really hope she comes back and she's alive, and that when we see her again, she's a Jedi Knight just like Kanan, and that she's stronger, and I just want Ahsoka back. I mean, I love everybody, but I want to be just like Ahsoka, so I really hope she comes back. So Dave Filoni himself has says that 10-1, we have not seen the last of Ahsoka Tano, and in fact, before she left Celebration, Ashley Eckstein actually had an Ahsoka Liz event. So, yay! So let's keep our hopes up. And also at the panel, they did announce that Pop, the Funko figurines by Pop, the ones that do those really cool bobbleheads, which I have Kit Fisto and Plo Koon, they're finally releasing one for Ahsoka. However, it's only going to be available at Hot Topic. And sad for me, there is no longer a Hot Topic in my hometown, so I either have to find a Hot Topic and drive there, or figure out a way to order it off of online, because I want that I want that figure. Really, I got Plo Koon and Kit Fisto because they're two of my favorite Jedi Masters, and I want Ahsoka because, like I said, I want to be just like Ahsoka. I think she's awesome and cool. And then I would love to get the Pop figures, if they ever make them, of Anakin from Clone Wars, not Anakin from, not the Darth Vader Anakin, but regular Anakin. And then Obi-Wan. If they did one for Obi-Wan from the prequels, I would get that one. But that's it. No more Pop figures for me. So, yeah. Okay, on to the Star Wars Rebels panel. I jumped back and forth, and you're probably trying to catch up, but The panel, it was really awesome and cool. What was funny is right in the front row was a guy wearing a full-on Kanan cosplay from the season 2 finale, complete with the temple guard mask. That was awesome. They did show off some of the new looks. The characters who changed the most. Ezra, he's got a new lightsaber. He's got a blaster. His hair is gone. Still not liking it. It's growing on me. I'm still not liking it. I don't think I ever will. There's just something off in the Star Wars universe because so many of the characters, especially so many of the male characters, their hair is really shaggy. Okay, not so much Obi-Wan in New Hope. I mean, he was old. But really, when they're younger, they're like really shaggy and long. So it's like I've gotten so used to seeing all the good guys kind of having like longer, shaggier looking hair. And then all the bad guys like having the buzz cuts and stuff. And so I'm not really sure about Ezra's haircut. Like I said, it does kind of remind me of Boba Fett from Clone Wars. But so I'm not sure I'm gonna like it. Kanan's look is really weird, and I wish I had pictures to show you guys, but I don't. So definitely go check it out online. Kanan has a beard, and in my head, I'm going, wait a minute, okay. Obi-Wan had a beard after he was knighted. Kanan just got knighted, and he has a beard. Luke is a Jedi Master, and he has a beard. Huh? I wonder. It just makes me think because it seems like pretty much all, like, except for Quinlan. Quinlan was just weird, though, and Anakin was kind of rebellious. So it's really weird that most of the Jedi Masters that we've seen, the Jedi Knights and Masters, if they're, like, human or able to, they kind of have beards. So it's like, wow, Kanan's got a beard. It's really cool. I think his ponytail's still there. I couldn't tell, and he now wears, like, a mask over his eye, so he's sadly still blind. But what's really cool is one of the audience members pointed out at the panel, he has these markings where his eyes would be, and they actually look like the markings on Rex's helmet. And one of the panel goers asked, you know, the markings on Kanan's mask, are those done as an honor to Rex? And Dave Filoni says yes. The markings on Kanan's masks are to honor Rex because he and Kanan are now friends, and Kanan has learned to see things through other people's perspectives. So, and Rex taught him that. So, in honor of what Rex has taught Kanan and of their new friendship, he used Kanan's markings as the eyes for his mask. So that's actually really cool. The poor guy who came as Kanan saw that and just went, ah! Now I have to do a new Kanan cosplay. Like totally new, because now you gotta get the fake beard and the new mask and the new outfit. Sabine also changed, and Sabine's change is my favorite because Sabine now has pink hair! Yay! Her hair is pink, which is one of my favorite colors. I love pink as one. Like, seriously, I love purple and blue and green and yellow and pink. So, it's so cool seeing Sabine with pink hair because that's the last color I would expect. And come to find out, Tia, the voice actress, actually asked, back when she first started playing Sabine, if Sabine could have pink hair. And she was told, oh, maybe, and then it never happened. Finally, this season, Sabine has pink hair. It is so awesome, especially since Dave said that because we're getting closer to Rogue One in the Rebels universe, they're trying to bring more of the color palette from Rogue One into Rebels, which is very colorful, very bright. So he's saying they're trying to keep that brightness, but actually kind of tone it down to match Rogue One. So really, Sabine's pink hair is like, yay, because everything's kind of muted now and more earthy, and then you have the bright pink hair, and it's like, wow, I want that. She also gets a jetpack. Finally, I mean, Sabine's a Mandalorian, so why the heck didn't she have a jetpack from day one? I mean, come on, that's like standard issue for all Mandalorian armor anyway. But she finally has a jetpack, people. Yay! Hera, her design changed a little. She now has like insignia on her outfit to show her rank within the Rebels. And Zeb, they kind of stripped him down. He doesn't have like all that armor and stuff. But other than that, the really only big character changes were Sabine, Kanan, and Ezra. Which is in line with Clone Wars, because on Clone Wars, the only 3 characters who really received any change whatsoever were Anakin, Obi-Wan, and Ahsoka. So, like I said, kind of the same. Definitely Ahsoka's my favorite out of all of them. I do like Kanan's mask, but I really like the fact that Ahsoka has pink hair. It's so cool. It's really interesting, and they showed 2 clips from the new season, which is cool. The 2 clips, I think they showed 1 clip that was already aired, but the second clip was actually the one that hints at the big Sabine story arc this season. That's right, we're going to get a big Sabine story arc, so guess what? That means Mandalore! Well, we're not technically going to Mandalore, but there's going to be a lot more Mandalorians, which means yay! Makes me happy, because I kind of like Mandalore. I think it's really interesting that there kind of was like, during the Clone Wars, these 2 sides of it, like the pacifists, and then the people who were like, let's go back to our warrior ways and kill a bunch of people, especially if they're Jedi. So it's going to be really cool seeing Sabine's Mandalorian heritage come into play more. We saw a little bit in Season 2 with her challenge to Fenn Rau. Yay. But it's going to be really interesting to see it this season, and it was really, and plus jetpack, yay, jetpack. I'm so excited about the jetpack. Also, the big news is what else they dropped. They showed the clips to the live stream audience, and then they showed the Season 3 trailer. I was so excited. I was gonna set this up to record my reaction, but then I thought, no, because it's at the panel, I don't want to do that. And I honestly thought they would cut the stream when they showed the new trailer for Season 3, because they did that for Rogue One. At the Rogue One panel, they cut the live stream twice, because I think at one time they showed a clip from the movie, and then the other time was the brand new trailer, which hasn't been released yet to the public. So I thought for sure when the new Rebels Season 3 trailer came out, they were just going to cut the live stream. So I thought, nah, I won't tape my reaction. And so I just thought they would cut the live stream. And they didn't. I got to see the trailer when everyone else saw it for the first time, if they were watching the live stream or if they were at the panel or the celebration. Oh my gosh, this trailer, it literally, oh my gosh, my mind was like gone in like 5 seconds. Mush, completely gone. Seriously. It like starts out and you hear like Vader's breathing, and then you hear Ezra cry out, Ahsoka! And then the next thing you know, it's Kanan sitting there in his new mask going, battles leave scars, like ones you can't see. And I'm going, oh my gosh. And it's like so intense right from the beginning. You see Ezra with the Sith holocron, and you see Rex back in battle armor. It's so awesome. You see the Mandalorians, and Hondo's back. Why is Hondo back? So is Morrigan. I don't know why both of them are back. I mean, seriously. And I've seen a couple of reactions since, and most of the people who have watched this trailer and I've videotaped their reactions have said the same thing, have had the same reaction that I have. They see Hondo, and we all just go, Hondo. It's like, really? Not again, but at least a funny episode. And then what's really interesting is at one point in the trailer, you see, I'm just doing the stuff I remember from the trailer. I can't actually show you the trailer because I don't know how to do that yet on my computer. I will figure out a way someday, I promise. At one point, during season 1, there was a special sign, like Ahsoka would leave, like her symbol, and it was like the markings from her face. And I first noticed that, and I watched one of the first season episodes again, and I realized that on the crates there was like a marking. And when I was watching it, and then I was watching like Ahsoka, I realized, oh my gosh, that marking matches her face. That's her calling card. Well, in the trailer at one point, you see a bigger version of that with more markings, and it's from Ahsoka. It's Ahsoka's facial markings. And I'm like, wow, they're still using that? And there's like this heavily computer modified voice talking about how there's these 3 cadets from Sky Academy that would like to join the rebellion. And I'm going, huh? And my hope peaked just a little that it might be Ahsoka, and then I'm like, no, she's probably still in the Sith Temple, so my hope went, no. But the 3 cadets, one of them we know. I hope we know, because it's one of the ones that helped Luke take down the Death Star and then take down the second Death Star. It's Wedge! Yes! Wedge is gonna be in season 3, and it's not like adult Wedge, it's like Wedge, like teenage Wedge. Wedge! Yay! Wedge is gonna be in season 3 of Rebels, and we're going to learn more about him. And apparently Wedge went to the Imperial Academy to learn how to fly a TIE fighter. But whatever, okay? He's a rebel, so it's really cool that we get to see Wedge. So, yay! Wedge! I was excited to see Wedge. I'm like, yay! And it's like just 1 second, he gets off his Imperial car sign. He's like, you can call me Wedge. I'm like, ah! Wedge! So, yay, Wedge is back. Wedge, It was cool. We near the end of the trip, we saw Maul. Of course, Maul is back. Maul is back. Yay! Oh no! Why? I know. I already knew Maul was gonna be the big bad villain. One of the big bad villains for season 3. I already knew that. I already knew that months ago. No. I admit, I like the guy who played him in the movie. Ray Park was awesome. Sam Witwer is amazing. It's nothing against those two guys. It's just the character of Maul in general. Everything from his name to his look. He just scares me and gives me the heebie-jeebies. It's beyond creepy. So so Maul was in the trailer a lot, and at one point, that's the end of the trailer. I'll tell you what happens at the end. I don't want to spoil that though, so I won't tell you what happens at the end of the trailer. You have to go check it out and see for yourself. But at one point during a really flash clips, they show like this clip for like a second, and it's Sabine, and she's holding the Darksaber. Oh my gosh, yes, the Darksaber is back. That Darksaber that first made its appearance in Clone Wars in the hands of Pre Vizsla is now back. Now, what's happened to the Darksaber since? Well, when Maul took over Mandalore with the help of the Death Watch and defeated Pre Vizsla in single combat, he killed Pre Vizsla and took the Darksaber. So how did the Darksaber wind up in Sabine's hands? Did she take it from somebody? I don't know. If that's true, how did this Darksaber then find its way back into the hands of the Mandalores? Did Maul lose it after he got the tar beat out of him by Pelgra Creep? After he beat Pre Vizsla, did he just decide that it wasn't worth having the Darksaber and just toss it or something? Because I don't think he had it with him when Obi-Wan went to confront him after Satine sent him the message for help, and then Maul did the really nasty thing and killed Satine, which makes me cry because I'm sad for Obi-Wan because he and Satine were really close, and it would have been cool if they could have fallen in love. But okay, I'm getting off topic. Anyway, Darksaber is back in season 3. The Darksaber is actually one of my top favorite lightsaber designs just because I find it classic. And okay, the blade is black. Not my choice for blade. I just like the design, and actually I like the design so much that in my Annalise and Anakin Anakin and Annalise fanfiction series, when I was coming up with ideas for Annalise's lightsaber, I actually took the design for the Darksaber and used that, except I changed the color of the blade. Annalise's blade is the same shade of blue as Anakin's, but her design, the hilt, and how the lightsaber looks, is how the laser part of it looks, is actually just the Darksaber. But the blade is like silver with a little black. It's not like dark, so I actually changed it. It's a lightsaber. It's her lightsaber, but that's just because I liked the look of the Darksaber so much. It really reminds me of the old style, like of a sword. Well, that's kind of the point of lightsabers, but the Darksaber is definitely one of my favorite lightsaber designs. So, if in case you're wondering, my other favorites are of course Ezra's blaster lightsaber combo and Anakin's lightsaber. I also like Obi-Wan's a little bit because it's really very classic. So, but I like the Darksaber a lot, so it's really cool seeing the Darksaber back. But then the big reveal. I suddenly get really creepy about this. The big reveal. He's back. No, not the Emperor, Darth Vader, though both would be cool. No, this is the guy that they actually set out a petition for, begging, pleading for him to get put back into canon. And in the trailer, they revealed it. I got so excited, I started tearing up and nearly cried. Why? Why was I so emotional about one of the new bad guys for season 3 of Star Wars Rebels? Because this bad guy no longer existed in the Star Wars universe until now. Well, in the canon, it's part of Star Wars legend. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Grand Admiral Thrawn of the heir to the I gotta remember the series of the Dark Force. No. Anyway, Grand Admiral Thrawn is back in canon. He's gonna be the other big bad for season 3 of Rebels. It's official. There was this great moment in the trailer where they revealed him, and he's the same. He's got the same blue skin and red eyes and the same voice that I've heard in my head whenever I read the stories. And he's still obsessed with using art and philosophy and history as a means to breaking his enemies down and destroying them, to tear them apart piece by piece by using their own history and culture against them, to study it, to know their weaknesses. I was so excited. I said it. I nearly cried. And Dash Star, who I keep telling you guys, go watch his reaction videos. They're awesome. They're amazement. When he saw Thrawn, he literally broke down crying because for people like him and I, the Star Wars Expanded Universe was such a big part of our lives. I keep saying I was born in 1988, so between my birth and Phantom Menace coming out, there was no like new Star Wars movies. There was no Star Wars TV shows like Rebels or Clone Wars. There was nothing, but we had the Star Wars Expanded Universe. We had these books and games. And for me, the books were the most important part of my life because I was a huge bookworm. I was kind of socially isolated when I was a child. We lived out in the country. We didn't go anywhere. But I loved to read, and when I read, I could travel to all these places. And when my parents said I was finally old enough and responsible enough that they were going to let me start checking out books from the adult section of our library, I got so excited. And like I said, my parents were very strict and were very careful about what I read. And one of the few things I was allowed to read is, even though my parents really had no idea about Star Wars, is they let me read Star Wars books. And these Star Wars books pretty much became my life. I read every single Star Wars book I could get my hands on at the library. Everything from Courtship of Princess Leia to A New Rebellion. I devoured these books. These were the characters, these were people I wanted to be. I wanted to be a Jedi like Luke. I wanted to lead a government like Leia. I wanted to be a swashbuckling space pirate, like a smuggler like Han. I wanted to do all this. I wanted to be, these books were my life, and more than any other book, they really opened me up to a new world, to new possibilities. And the first book I ever read, first adult novel I ever read, was Timothy Zahn's Heir to the Empire, which is the first Star Wars Expanded Universe book that was ever written. And in it, we were introduced to the new baddie, Grand Admiral Thrawn. This guy was like the first Star Wars villain who was like a central villain who wasn't a Sith. He wasn't like some power-hungry Sith Lord Empire. He was just this commander in the Imperial military forces, and he was an alien, and he comes back after the rebels, years after the rebels have run, and says that he knows the way. He knows a way that we can defeat the New Republic, to bring them to their knees, to make the Empire rise again. And he nearly does it. That's how good this guy is. He nearly breaks the Republic in this book series. It's a 3-book series. I have the last 2. But he nearly does it. He nearly destroys the New Republic. He is able to get them stretched so thin to seize all these planets, to get these planets to join him, because he is that good. Because, like I said, he uses their culture, their history, their own essence against them, because he uses that to study their weaknesses. And when he finds out, he's able to just go in and tear them apart. And that's what makes him such a compelling figure. I mean, he's a bad guy, but I like him. Just like, okay, Darth Vader's a bad guy, but I like him because I know deep down inside there's still Anakin, and Anakin's still good. So, yeah, but this was the first Star Wars villain that I was old enough to really look at and understand from a psychological level that this is a bad guy, this is a very bad guy, but he's also very smart and intelligent, and I like that. I mean, he liked art and stuff, and I don't know, for some odd reason, Grand Admiral Thrawn was always just this, has always been one of the top villains to me in Star Wars. So, in case you're wondering, there he is on the cover of Dark Force Rising, the second book in the series. That's him. That is Grand Admiral Thrawn. And he was just like this really, I don't know, he was just like amazing. I have to admire him. He's not real, and he was a bad guy, but he was so smart and so good at what he did. It was like incredible. And like I said, not a real character. So when I discovered that these were no longer canon, I was bummed. Of course I was bummed, because a ton of my favorite characters are no longer canon. Jaina, Jacen, Anakin Solo are no longer canon. Myra Jade is no longer canon. Ben Skywalker is no longer canon. Grand Admiral Thrawn is no longer canon. So it's like Tenel Ka is no longer canon. Lobaka is no longer canon. So a lot of my favorite characters are no longer canon. Yay, Detroit won. A lot of my favorite villains are no longer canon. So when I saw that people were petitioning to put Grand Admiral Thrawn back in Star Wars, you bet I signed up, because he's one of my favorite villains, and I didn't think there was a chance. I mean, Dave Filoni said that Rebels, they were going to reveal something that the audience has been asking for a while, and I said, oh, maybe it'll be Thrawn, but at the same time, with the whole thing with Ahsoka, I said maybe it'd be Thrawn, but maybe it'll be really Ahsoka's fate, which he didn't tell, and instead it is Thrawn. Thrawn is back. I'm so excited about this one character, and it's not even a good character, it's a bad guy. I mean, it's insane. And the voice actor who's doing Thrawn is actually the brother of Ben Mendelsohn, who's playing the bad guy in Rogue One. So how cool is that? Okay, I'm done freaking out over Thrawn. I am just so happy Thrawn is back. He's in canon now. And like I said, hopefully this paves the way for other characters we loved in the expanded universe who might fit in with the timeline to be brought back into canon. I mean, I would love it if some of these characters, I would love it if Myra Jade came back into canon just because of who she is in the Legends. I'm not holding my breath for that though, but still, I'm so happy Thrawn is back in canon. Like I said, I teared up, Dash Star, cried. It's just amazing and wonderful that Thrawn is back. And I know I'm probably saying his name wrong, but I'm sorry. It's just great and awesome that he's back. I mean, to someone like me who for like 3 or 4 years spent their entire life reading Star Wars novels as a way to get past the pain of feeling of being bullied and being lonely and kind of looked over and just feeling trapped and not knowing what to do. These novels were really my lifeline, and now one of the characters is back. So literally Star Wars was for me in many ways a way to break free, break away, get outside my shell, even if it was just in my head, to this galaxy where the heroes were Jedi and smugglers and the bad guys were Sith and Grand Admirals, and even if you were an average person, you had the chance. Like, even if you were somebody that nobody would look twice at and nobody would even think that you were capable of doing something amazing or wonderful, even if it was evil, in that universe you could. So for someone like me, Star Wars was definitely like, in that universe I could picture myself doing anything I wanted to. So I'm just so happy he's back, and I'm really glad others are excited about him. So thank you, Dave Filoni. Thank you, Star Wars Rebels. Thank you, Lucasfilm, for bringing back one of the greatest villains of all time in the Star Wars universe. Thank you so much for bringing back Grand Admiral Thrawn. It means so much to fans like me who who grew up reading these Star Wars books. And thank you, Timothy Zahn, who announced via video at the Star Wars Rebels panel that he is that not only is he thrilled that Thrawn is back in canon, and he worked really closely with Rebels to make sure everything was right, but thank you, Timothy Zahn, for announcing that not only is Thrawn back in Rebels, but next year Timothy Zahn will be releasing the Thrawn novel. So yay, so get excited about that. So I'm really excited. Thrawn's gonna be on Rebels, and we're getting a novel about him, so I can't wait. So I'm actually looking forward more to the Thrawn novel than the Tarkin novel. The Tarkin novel's out. I have to get it because I'm trying to get all the new Star Wars books that are now canon. And so I have to get the Thrawn one. I'm more interested in Lords of the Sith, but I have to get the Tarkin one, and I am interested in reading the Tarkin novel because he is such a bad guy. He's worse, and I actually think Tarkin is dumber than Thrawn. Actually, I really do think Tarkin's a lot dumber than Thrawn. but I'm just interested in reading that Tarkin novel, but I'm actually more excited about the Thrawn novel coming out next year. So, thank you, Dave Filoni, thank you, Lucasfilm, thank you, Star Wars Rebels, and thank you, Timothy Zahn, for giving us back Grand Admiral Thrawn. It just makes so many of us happy and excited that this villain is now back in canon, and we really can't wait now for the season to start so we can see where his storyline goes and what he does. It's definitely going to add another aspect for those of us who've read the books and we know what he's like. So thank you so much for giving us back this really awesome bad guy. So thank you. But yeah, the Rebels panels was really cool. As you can tell, we all got really excited about Thrawn. They did show the first 2 episodes of season 3, but they did cut the live stream for that, so I didn't get to see it. So I'm sorry I didn't see the new episodes, and even if I did, I wouldn't tell you anything about them. So we're just gonna have to wait for fall. So the Rebels panel was awesome. There were a lot of awesome questions, and Dave said it's always the kids, always the fans 12 and under who ask the most direct questions, and they know like the most. Like it was like a 12-year-old who asked about his mask. And like one kid asked, is Ahsoka dead, or is she part of the Force? Is she gonna be a Force ghost? And like these really direct questions. I'm going, these are all the questions I have, but I'm too scared to ask them if I was there. So lots of good questions, lots of good conversation. Really excited. It was a really funny panel. Pretty much after that trailer aired, everybody was excited. So like I said, thank you. I did go to Star Wars night Friday night at my local Barnes & Noble. Unfortunately, like I said, this being Midland, I was right. There really wasn't anyone there. It ended up being like 15 kids and 5 adults, which I was one of. But it was fun for a little bit. We played like 4 rounds of bingo. I won the last one. And then there was trivia. There was kid level trivia, which consisted of questions of like, what is a Jedi's weapon? Lightsaber. Pretty easy. General trivia, which was, what is Padme's last name? What was another one? Which famous scientist did Ralph McQuarrie base the eye designs for Yoda on? I took a guess and said Albert Einstein. I was right. And I was like, I was right because I think Padme's last name, I think you pronounce it Naberry. Which Revenge of the Sith star is related to the actor who played Wedge in the original trilogy? That one I knew right off the top of my head. It's Ewan McGregor, and that's because Ewan McGregor played Obi-Wan, and I'm such a huge Obi-Wan fan. Like I said, he's one of my favorites. I absolutely love Obi-Wan, and I had, of course, Obi-Wan in the prequels was like my first fictional character crush, like hardcore, and Ewan McGregor plays the younger Obi-Wan, so I also had a crush on... It's very funny. I had a crush on Obi-Wan, and then I had a crush on Ewan McGregor, who played Obi-Wan, but it was not the same crush. I liked them both for different reasons, and then I found out Ewan McGregor was married, and then I realized that Jedi can't get married or have relationships, so I was like, oh, so much for my crush. I still think he's cute, though, especially in Phantom Menace. He was so cute in Phantom Menace. I think that's why my character in my fanfiction series, Annalise, in Obi-Wan, I'm letting them end up together. Just because I still have that secret little crush on him. But, I'm turning red. I don't know if it's because my room is hot or it's because I'm blushing, but... I'll go with it's hot. I'm not actually blushing from embarrassment, and also not from embarrassment that I have a photo of the cast from Revenge of the Sith on my wall. So, yeah, but I got that right. And then there was a really tough questions, like, what was the name of the Ewok medicine man who was going to roast Han? It was like Lodok or something. Like, okay, what type of gas was Lando Calrissian mining on Cloud City? And I was like, Batha? What are the names of the creatures that helped Darth Vader freeze Han and Carbonite? And I went, Aklis? No, that's not right. That's a language. And then I went, piggies. And when I actually said that out loud, I'm like, I didn't know what they were called. I just called them piggies. And everybody laughed because they do look like pigs. I'm sorry. I didn't know. So I'm like, piggies. Oh, wrong. What is the Millennium Falcon? What type of ship is the Millennium Falcon built from? Like, what were the add-ons to it? And it's a YT 1300, Corellian YT 1300 stock light freighter. I think I got that all. I couldn't remember the numbers. I just remember it's YT Corellian something, so I got that. Finished a quote from Obi-Wan. It was something blank, wastes are not to be traveled lightly, and it was the Jedland. Who was the Chancellor before Palpacreep Valorum? What color is Yoda's lightsaber in Attack of the Clones and Revenge of the Sith? I don't understand how that was a difficult question, because all the little kids got it. His lightsabers are green, and it's like, really? That was going to be a difficult question? What color are Yoda's lightsabers? Come on! Ask a tougher question. Ask, like, what color is, Ahsoka's lightsabers in Rebels, because they're white, and that's a very unusual color. So, yeah. So it was questions like that. I got 7 right, and the other girl who took it got 9, so she got a free book. And then she won another book in a drawing. I didn't win any book, but that's okay, because I went ahead and got life test. So, yeah, it was kind of a bum night, but that's okay. The panel made up for it the next day. It was so funny because I was in such a good mood. I went to work because I was literally thinking about nothing but the Star Wars Rebels panel for like 4 hours. It was everything I was thinking about. I was so focused on Rebels. Like, that was it. It's like gone. I was amazed I even did my job. But yeah, so Rebels is great. It's looking to be an awesome season. I gotta get off and post this because it's almost 50 minutes long and I don't want to bug you guys. So, yay! I will be gone tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day I'm going to Michigan's Adventure. I'm very excited. I'll be taking along my Jackie old cell phone that I just use now as like a camera and MP3 player, so I can take pictures and videos that I will put in next week's vlog for you guys. So, which should be, I'm gonna try and do it I'm either gonna do it Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm trying to avoid saying try. Oh my gosh. I'm horrible. Anyway, I will have a vlog up for you next Tuesday or Wednesday. And that will be all about Michigan's Adventure and any new Star Wars news, which I don't think will be a lot because I think we cover. I think after Star Wars Celebration, there's a bit of a break. I might talk about Freemakers next week. I did actually watch a couple weeks ago the first episode of the Freemaker Adventures by Star Wars Legos. It was actually pretty interesting. I didn't think I would like it that much, but I really did like the first episode. So, I don't know. Maybe I'll get into it. But yeah. So, oh my gosh, almost 15 minutes long. I'm sorry, but lots of information. Anyway, I will be back next week with a vlog about Michigan's Adventure. So yeah. As always, I am Caitlin, your favorite Michigan girl, wannabe Jedi, and resident Disney freak. I shall see you guys next week. Take care, stay safe, have fun, and as always, may the Force be with you, my fellow rebels.